All right, what's happening, you guys? This is Coach Joel, and if you are joining from the Total Body Blueprint, welcome. I have a special guest today, and we are going to be diving into a very, very special topic to me. It's something I'm very passionate about, which is being able to get the best possible sleep. Guys, 2/3 of the world doesn't get the 8 hours of recommended sleep. This is affecting multitudes of different areas in your life, from physically to mentally to emotionally to even spiritually. And we're going to be diving in and talking about some incredible technology with the CEO of 8 Sleep. And we're going to get into some really, really good stuff. At the end of this, not only are you going to know about this technology, but you're also going to know how to be able to get a little better sleep. So let me introduce my guest today. Matteo is the co-founder and CEO of 8 Sleep. He's the world's leading sleep enhancement company, and was named as one of the most innovative companies in 2018. It was also recognized as one of Time's best innovations in 2018 and 2019. Matteo graduated magna cum laude in law, holds multiple patents in tech and health, has co-founded and led several renewable energy companies, is a member of the Ford's Technology Council, and can drive a car much faster than you. Please welcome to the show, Matteo Franceschetti. Matteo, what's up, man?
Hey, thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Dude, so pumped to be able to have the opportunity to talk to somebody about sleep that is passionate about sleep, because at dinner conversation, when I'm trying to get into sleep topics, it's boring for most people, but you're going to get my passion here and understand it because you're just as passionate.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to share everything I know.
Ah, man, I love it. So before we dive into sleep and start getting into sleep, there is a question that I have for you, and this is just from my own research. You drive some pretty fast cars back in your day. When's the last time you were driving, say, like over 120 or 140 miles per hour?
Yeah, I did the 12 hours of Abu Dhabi. I think it was not last December, the previous one, and I was driving a Maserati GT. You split with other drivers. We did the 12 hours, and we finished third in our category.
Yeah, so you guys podiumed.
Yeah, on the F1 podium. So I was so happy and excited. My wife still says that it was probably the day she has seen me the happiest.
That's incredible. Like, to
Yeah.
be, was that part of you growing up? You were doing race cars and that kind of stuff? Is that just part of the culture
Yeah.
of your family, or what? How'd you get into it?
Yeah, so my dad has been 2 times Italian champion. So when I was a kid, I was spending the weekends
No
in
way.
in tracks where he was racing. Then I started racing with go-karts, then European hill climbing, F3, and even now I live in Miami and I go down to Homestead to race and drive go-karts, but professional go-karts. So
Yeah, yeah.
uh, small monsters that they are really fast.
Oh my gosh. So this is really your true, like, first passion in love is racing
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. My wife always says that I do two things. I work and I read about F1 and motorsport.
Oh my gosh.
And then work for me is health and wellness. So is that everything is about that, and
Yes.
then motorsport.
Yes, yes. I will. I mean, when I saw that and saw that you podiumed there, I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this guy's the real deal. This is like, you keep that in your back pocket. Like, I watched a couple other different podcasts and nobody was talking about it. I'm like, how is nobody talking about this? This dude
Yeah.
podiumed. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. It was as a personal achievement is something I'm really proud of.
you should be. You should be. I was blown away when I saw that. So that was something really cool, and I wanted to be able to bring that to the forefront. But the next thing I wanted to talk about, and this is what we were talking about a little bit before we got on, is the different device. Yes, the biometrics. So yes, can you tell me about the one on your
Yeah. Yeah.
tricep?
This is, yeah, here. It's called levels, so I can monitor my biometrics. I usually fast 23 hours every day, and so I keep monitoring my glucose level to see that it doesn't drop below what is healthy. And at that point, I don't eat for 23 hours. I eat only at 7 p.m. every day.
So every day you're only eating 1 hour, a 1 hour window.
Yeah, except the weekends because I go out with my wife, and
Sure.
some at that point I do 16/8. But during the weekdays, I eat once a day.
How long have you been doing that?
Mm. 2 years. Then obviously you have some cheat days or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
some cheat periods, but overall, 80% consistent for 2 years and a half actually now. I also don't drink alcohol. I'm on a keto.
Yes.
I try everything you can think of: ice cold bath, sauna. I mean, we can talk and geek out together.
You are talking all the stuff that we love to dive into here on the show is that
Yeah.
geeky kind of stuff. Now, here's something I want to talk to you about. I'm about to go run a 50K at the end of May,
Wow.
and I'm looking to do it with no food through the entire 31 miles or through the 50K.
Wow.
And so I've been over that last 8 months, 16/8 fasting and getting more metabolically flexible. And I've gotten up to 21 miles, no food, and felt fine. I kept my heart rate at a certain pace, and I got to the point of thinking like, maybe I should be testing my glucose and see
Yes.
see where I'm at.
Highly recommend
Really.
that. I think, particularly for this type of training, you want to do it, and in real time, you will measure also while you're running, right? Because I mean, personally, I don't know. I don't run that long, but maybe you might see some drops, and at that point, you know that maybe you have to eat, or if you are within that range, you're fine to go.
And that's what that's
I can,
doing the entire
yeah. Let me
time.
show you
I would love to.
my yesterday. So you see here,
Yes.
fasting, 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 dinner,
All
and then
right.
it drops. And so I want to keep it there. You see where is the minimum
Yeah.
line? That is
Yes.
what I do. But for example, my wife, she cannot do it because for whatever reason, she starts dropping too much. So before testing her, I was always saying, "Oh, why don't you fast? It's good for you. You should fast,
Yeah.
fast."
Yeah.
And she said, "I can't. I need to eat." And then I thought she was just lazy. And then we look at the data, and because she was not lazy for her, her glucose drops when instead mine can be stable for days.
And were you measuring it when you first started fasting, or you just saw
No,
you just heard about
no,
fasting, right? You
yeah,
wanted to get into
yeah.
fasting, and so you started doing it.
But there is where I have the learning for you saying I just think I was naive at the time because to fast, you want to know if you can fast. You
Yeah.
want to know if you can run 21 miles without hurting, your
Yeah.
performance. And this is the best device.
And what's the device called so that I can
It's called Level Health.
check that out? Level health. There you go, you guys. We're learning stuff, and that's really interesting because I've had multiple people tell me who are runners like, don't do that. That's so stupid. You're gonna this and that. But to me, Matteo, I'm like, the body is so resourceful. It's been around for a really long time, and we've just taught it some really poor habits over the last couple centuries. I mean, really the last, 50 decades of introducing more and more and more packaged and carbohydrates, where our body should be metabolically flexible and be able to utilize its own energy sources and for us to continue to have clarity. I mean, and this for anybody who is new to fasting, one of the biggest benefits that I get from fasting is clarity of mind,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
And
And do you agree?
stability, right? Clear,
Yeah.
a clear mind consistently during the whole day. You don't have the drops like when you eat and then you start feeling heavy and then you
Yes.
start feeling tired. No, you are straight consistent.
Do you drink caffeine, coffee, or anything?
Yeah, I drink a couple of espresso, so I don't drink American coffee.
Gotcha.
So I drink three espresso in a whole day that are the equivalent of one cup of coffee in
That's
a
right.
day.
That's right.
That's it.
Do
Nothing else.
you like micro dose that? So like,
Yes.
nice.
Yeah. And sometimes I use decaf
Hmm.
because with decaf you get only one third of the coffee of the caffeine that you would get in a full espresso, and
Right.
so I can reduce when I feel I'm good. Another thing is happening. It's crazy, but I asked some experts, and it seems there is evidence in the past. Let me show you this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sorry if we geek out about this stuff, but
No, don't apologize. Anybody listen here is going to be geeking it for
look at
sure.
my HRV here. You see the HRV flying?
Yes. Yes.
Going up. You know the only change I did? I started the calories restriction. So in the past 4 days, I started in taking less than 1,500 calories, even if I kept training. And my HRV keeps going up. And today it
Really?
was at 96, which I have never seen in my life. And so I reach out to a couple of friends who are experts in HRV, and I say, have you ever seen any correlation
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
low calories and HRV? And they say, yeah, there is some evidence that it happens, and this is what is happening to me. So, for example, for you, I mean, I don't know because you will need to run for a long time,
Right.
but I start believing that through nutrition, you can impact your HRV.
I, you know, it's interesting that you put that there. And so what Matteo's talking about, guys, if you're listening to this on the podcast, is that he just showed a graph of his HRV being, what was the lowest part that HRV was at? Like
It
60 or
went
something?
from, yeah, it went from the 50s, 60s to 96 to
Nine.
100.
And is that in
So
24 hours or what's the range
since
there?
Monday,
Since,
4 days. Yeah.
and those are the days that you've calorie restricted.
Yeah.
That's
So
incredible.
40% increase in
Yes.
HRV in 4 days through calories restriction.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So what Mateo's saying is that he not only does he intermittent fast, but he's actually restricting the amount of calories. And how many calories were? I mean, what's the reduction in calories that you did?
Yeah. 1,500. So usually somewhere these days between 8,000 and 1,300.
And what were you doing beforehand?
Probably was more somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000,
Got
maybe
you.
1,800, call it. So let's say I went from 1,800 to 1,200.
Okay, so not a huge massive drop there,
No,
and
no.
and his
I had
HRV
like
went up.
chicken and a salad for
Yeah,
dinner,
yeah.
right? So, but like half a pound of chicken and a big salad with some almonds and nuts. So it's a pretty, good meal,
Yeah, yeah.
and that is how you stay in the 1,000 calories range, and HRV keeps going up.
That's incredible. That's incredible. One of the things that I've noticed, Matteo, is that when I do a 24-hour fast, I'll look the next day on my Whoop and my HRV will be up. Almost, I mean,
Oh,
my
really?
recovery and HRV almost every single time when I do a 24-hour fast. I actually don't think there's been a time that it didn't go up from doing a
Yeah, you
24-hour
see.
fast or longer.
Yeah.
And
So it's true.
I totally believe. And now you giving me that information just makes me want to, again, it's that whole concept of like the body is so resourceful and it can do such incredible things. And of course, everybody's different, but I think we get too stuck in this, like, this food vortex that we just have to eat all these foods and it has to be this certain way. And of course, I believe in high quality foods and organic, grass fed, all the great stuff. But you guys, if you're listening right now, man, this is some real stuff. Matteo has like 4 different tracking devices that I can see. Who knows if there's another one? Okay,
Yeah,
he
I
might
have
have a
the
new.
blood pressure. Yeah, there is the one for blood pressure that I track, and then obviously I have my sleep. So at night I track everything about respiration and sleep and
Yes.
heart
Oh
rate.
man, and I can't wait to get into that too as well. So that was really fun, and I can't wait to dive into more stuff like that with you, Matteo. That's the stuff we really like talking about here. One of the things I'm interested in is looking back at your bio. You were with renewable energy companies, right?
Yeah.
But you always had this background in sports and
Yep.
fitness, right? You were an
Yep.
elite driver. You played tennis, right?
Yep.
I mean, you were a high level athlete. Is that what made you shift? Did you feel yourself pulling and be like, nah, I need to be here? Renewable energy, yeah, that's cool. It's great to put on the resume, but I just really feel like, how did
Yeah.
that change happen?
It changed because obviously I had the background as an athlete and I was now an entrepreneur working long hours.
Yeah.
And so I started wondering, why do I have to sleep 8 hours? Let me understand. And I understood that there is no reason why we need to sleep 8 hours. The point is, no one did anything for sleep for the past 4,000 years, right? Human beings, they go on a piece of dumb foam and they pretend to wake up refreshed the following day and run 50 kilometers. That doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to me, right? I always say Elon Musk is taking us to Mars, but then we spend a third of our life on a piece of dumb foam.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense. And so I started looking into technology and how technology can do two things for you. How can we compress your sleep? Like how can we save your life? Compress your sleep means could you sleep only 6 hours and get more rest than when you were sleeping 8 hours?
Mm,
It's possible through technology. And saving your life means while you are asleep, can we scan your body to detect illnesses, to monitor your muscles, to monitor your tendons? So by the time you wake up, you perfectly know what's the status of your body.
that's incredible. So you're actually talking about in the future, the true future of sleep is that you'll wake up in the morning after getting 6 hours of sleep, getting better sleep in 6 hours than the recommended 8 hours of sleep, and you'll have a full scan of your body. So to give you an example, I was having some inflammation in my hip from running. That would be something
Yeah.
that in the future that would be scanning, and I would
Yes.
know the inflammation that's happening in my joints and so on and so forth.
Yes. You deserve that.
Yes.
So we're just doing what is expected. Technology exists to make no human beings better, and you shouldn't wait to go to the doctor after that. No, you had an injury to discover that no your muscles or you had an inflammation that could take you to an injury. And so I think where machine learning and hardware and sensors they will take us is this: they will tell you, look, you have 80% chances to develop an inflammation here if you keep training this much for the past 5 days.
Mm,
Take a rest now and drop the likelihood to 40%, and do this to drop it to 0%. So it's not even just detecting, oh, now I have the inflammation. We will get to a point. Step two will be to tell you the likelihood to develop it within a certain time frame. It will be the same for cancer. We will tell you, look, if you keep like this, you have 80% chances to develop this sort of cancer. So change your nutrition in this way and change your fitness and sleep in this way to reduce it by 50%.
and think about this, you guys. Like what Matteo's saying is, and particularly you now team that up with coaches, doctors, medical professionals, and
Yep.
that's going to be live linked to the ability for that to be shared to professionals,
Yep.
in which now I
Yep.
can wake up because already, Matteo, like I have 23, clients, 24 clients that all have the whoop, and they all get a little
Yep.
weird because I know exactly how they slept the night before, right?
Okay.
I mean, that makes me excited to think like, oh, I can wake up and see where the inflammation is in my athletes' bodies from the workouts that I prescribed throughout the week and how they're healing or the nutrition plan that I prescribed. I mean, this is what you're
Yep.
saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because you will start knowing, look, all the times that I let them push for 3 weeks in a row with this training, they start developing this likelihood of inflammation. So the training doesn't work. Well, instead, there is this other training that maybe is different, harder, whatever, and they can do it for 6 weeks in a row and there is no inflammation. So then you just adjust your plan. You have data.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. It- and you guys, if and we've talked about sleep before, but we spend a majority of our life asleep. And if we're getting crappy sleep, we're actually shortening our lives, right, Matteo?
Yeah. Think of this. Let's say you live 100 years, okay? Just simple number. You're going to spend 33 years on your bed, okay? And right now that shitty piece of dumb foam didn't change for the past 2,000 years. And you're going to spend 33 years of your life on that. It doesn't make sense. We need to change it.
And you're,
I'm sorry for the French words.
I love it, man, because it's like, I mean, when you really think about it, and I look at, you guys, if you haven't looked at 8 Sleep, please go check it out right now, and you'll understand why Matteo is saying it's dumb foam, because it is when you start looking at what they're producing, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah.
It-
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you this because it makes me laugh so much, right? Sometimes people know some of these mattress companies, they talk about the memory foam with gel infused. Memory foam was invented in 1960 by the NASA. Okay, 1960. There was substantially no software, no computers, no iPhones, and this is their technological innovation, right? So what are we talking about?
yeah, I had no idea that was the thing. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
nothing's changed in that amount of time,
No, no,
and they're
no. They go there and they put gel infused. That makes no difference. It's just the bullshit
yeah.
that they do. You could start a dumb mattress company today, just by calling. I give you 3 numbers. You call them,
Yeah.
and they start giving the foam.
Yeah.
And you just say, how much do you want to pay? $300. Oh, do you want the graphite infused or gel infused or regular? It's like going to the market and you just have a menu.
Yeah.
And you pick, oh, I want to pay $20 more. Oh, I
Yeah.
give you the gel infused.
Yes. Yes. One of my clients, Matteo, he knows the founder of, gosh, one of the foam ones, one of the bigger ones that Target carries.
Casper or Paul?
Yeah,
Nectar?
Casper. Yep. And he was talking about like Casper and the other company, they get it from the same place.
Yeah.
It's cut from the same
We,
foam. They just
they all get it from the same
yeah,
place.
they
So
just
yeah,
brand it differently.
yeah, yeah. And you can do it too. Start it today. Start your mattress company today.
Right? And now guys,
Dumb mattress company.
yes. I'm gonna start a mattress company just because Mateo's saying it. It's gonna be called Dumb Mattress Company. And you know what? I'll probably still
Oh
sell
yeah, 100%.
because
There are 30 million people buying mattresses every year, right? So the point is, the only thing they could buy were dumb mattresses, and so they buy dumb mattresses. And in the night, they go there, they lie over this thing for 33 years of their life, and they pretend to wake up fully refreshed to perform at their peak. Our point of view is there is technology in every part of your life. We can bring it to those 33 years to help you recover faster. So you live a healthier, more productive, and longer life.
yes, because imagine this, right? Imagine that the iPhone never changed. That's what Mateo's saying is like your very first iPhone. If the camera never changed and none of the processors or nothing
No, no,
else.
no, no. Now you're too positive. You remember when we had the landline when we were kids and there was only the landline? So that is where mattresses are. At the landline, where there is one phone in the house, and if
Yeah.
you want to talk to your partner, you have
Yeah.
to talk in front of everyone.
Hey,
And
the phone's for you. Come pick it up.
yeah,
Yes. Yes, and you can't go too far because you get stuck on the landline.
yeah. Because obviously, yeah, there is the cable, right? So that is
Yes.
where we are right now, and we are
Oh,
trying to move it to the iPhone.
you are moving it to the iPhone. There's no doubt about it because again, I've been watching you guys and it's just incredible. So guys, what we covered so far is one, dumb mattresses. You have a landline for a bed right now, and you know how inconvenient that is. Now compare that to your mattress and the technology that Matteo and 8 Sleep are introducing it's revolutionizing because you don't know, and this is what I tell my clients all the time, right, Matteo? And you're gonna love this as well. You don't know 100% because you've never been there, right? Everybody's living at 70% because
Yes.
they're not doing the different things of intermittent fasting, cold therapy, breath work, meditation, getting the correct amount of sleep, water intake, lowering caffeine, lowering alcohol, and then truly actually feeling your body optimized at that. That's the same kind of thought process when it comes to our sleep, right?
Exactly. We call it Sleep like going to the gym. You know, when you just say, look, I'm going to go and train 3 times, 4 times,
Yeah.
5 times a week because it makes me feel fit, because, it's good for my health, and it
Yeah.
also keeps me skinny. Sleep is the same thing. You need to be intentional. Going to bed to sleep is like going to the gym. You're doing something good for your body because first, you will live longer. Second, you will feel more energized. Third, you will crave less junk food, right? So you're also doing something for being skinny and on shape just by sleeping more. So put the effort. Don't try to be like in the 90s when you were saying, oh, I will sleep when I'm dead, because you're just going to die sooner, unfortunately. So use the time now and live longer, a healthier, more productive life.
And some of the stuff, right, that Mateo's, and I pulled some of this because again, I told you, if you guys haven't listened to or read Matthew Walker's Why We Sleep, great book. But just a few things, right, guys, to think about. Studies showed that on average, those who slept under or who underslept ate 300 calories more than those who got sufficient sleep, and their sweet cravings increased by 40%. So we're just talking nutrition wise, right? You're talking
Yeah.
about the intentionality
Yeah.
of, we'll look and be like, oh, my nutrition or my fitness or all this, but then we don't realize the massive effect that sleep has on human growth hormone, on our ability to cognitively rebalance and to retain
Diabetes,
information, diabetes, heart disease.
heart diseases, blood pressure, Parkinson, everything is connected. And if you think everything starts from there, because what happens is when you're sleep deprived and you wake up in the morning, you have 40% more cravings. You eat 350 more calories. Then you become insulin resistant. And so you need to eat more sweet, more sugar to start feeling that sort of, the sugar kicking off. And so it's a spiral, and then you feel bloated, and then you don't want to train because you feel bloated, you feel guilty with yourself, and then at that point you don't even sleep well, because food, we spoke about that earlier, has an impact on your sleep quality. Fitness has an impact on your sleep quality. So it's an infinite loop.
It's an infinite loop. That is 100% such a true statement, because we get stuck in this loop, and it truly, you guys, it starts with our sleep. And what Matteo was saying, it's like, yeah, sleep when you die. Well, you're on your way. You are literally on your way, not only to living a shorter life, but living a life that is less fulfilled because you are tired, because you're constantly hitting the caffeine, because you're getting those drops in the evening. Your cortisol levels and hormones are super unbalanced. I mean, it's crazy to me. Mateo's like, so many people talk about hormones and the nutrition and all this other different balance stuff while they're getting 5 hours of sleep or 6 hours of sleep
Yeah, yeah.
on a dumb
There are
mattress.
three real hacks for your health and wellness. First, you need to sleep between 7 and 9 hours. Second, you need to train 3 to 5 times a week. I recommend high intensity interval training and weight training. There is a lot of medical evidence that this is the best for you, for your cardiovascular system, and for your strength as you get older. And then you just need to avoid glucose spikes, because glucose spikes create inflammation. Most of the reasons behind cancer is inflammation. So by reducing these spikes of inflammation, you're just extending your own life and de-risking from cancer.
Which brings me to a point. One of the big components, we've talked a lot about tracking, right? But talk to us a little bit about the thermoregulation when it comes to inflammation and the stuff that you just talked about. So we talked about training, we talked about glucose resistance, right, or insulin resistance. How does this thermoregulation help with the inflammation and the deep sleep? And I mean, give us the data. You got all the data. Give me the data.
Yeah, yeah. Let's start from there. And I love that you and probably a lot of people in your audience, you use Whoop.
Yep.
So it's not even us saying. If you go on Twitter, you will see dozens of people reporting between 20 and 40% more deep sleep on their Whoop with our technology. And so when people say, well, so what is this thermoregulation? Why do I need it? Why should I pay this solid money? I say, do you want 40% more deep sleep? Yes. Okay, so here is the solution. right? And
Yeah,
it's not said by me, it's said by Whoop. We have no relationship with
that's
Whoop,
right.
we respect them,
Yeah.
right? So the same with Aura, the same with any wearable. So dozens of people publicly, they share their data on a regular basis, showing improvement in their sleep quality and in particular in their deep sleep through thermoregulation. What is thermoregulation? So your body temperature changes during the night. Okay. So when you hear people say, oh, you should sleep at 68 degrees the whole night, is wrong. The reason is 68 degrees could be right for 1 hour, but I
Mm.
can tell you it will not be right for the second part of your night. So what we do is this in our products, that is a bed or a mattress cover that can retrofit any bed, we have sensors. Through the sensors, we see your sleep stages and your HR, respiration, all your biometrics. Based on your biometrics, you can adjust in real time temperature. So we are not inventing the wheel. We just help your body to design this temperature curve that is already physiological and part of what your body should do. We just help the body to do it. And in this way, you get better sleep.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
And to clarify, because it's important, each side of the bed can have a different temperature and has different metrics. So if you sleep with a partner, you have your metrics, you have your temperature, you have your own personalized sleep improvement, and the other partner has its own sleep improvement.
and so it will be, and here's the big separation, guys, that I want to make sure that that's clarified, right? Is one, what Matteo said is the temperature of the room. That's always been a big thing that's been pushed in terms of sleep quality is, dark and cold. But a really great point that Matteo made, even in the beginning of this podcast, is talking about intermittent fasting and how his body responded very well and his wife's not so much. We are unique. There isn't a one size fit all. And what 8 Sleep is doing is saying that it's tracking your body so that it's not just in your mind. Well, oh, I like the bed hot or I like the bed cold. The, the technology is actually learning you and being able to keep you in the right temperature throughout the night. So it's adjusting throughout the night and into the morning to get the best possible deep sleep. Is that right?
Correct.
Wow.
And is what you're saying is really important because everyone is different. Your temperature depends on sleep stages, and maybe you could be in deep and I'm in REM. It depends on metabolism. It depends on age. It depends on gender. It depends on seasonality. It depends if you train in the morning or in the late night. It depends on if you had alcohol or not.
Do you guys get this? What he's saying? Now, do you understand the landline analogy? Like, you're sleeping on a mattress that is doing absolutely nothing for you. Zero, right? And in what you're saying is that with your technology, there's an increase of 20 to 40% in deep sleep. And I want to cover this just in case people don't know what deep sleep is. Can you explain what deep sleep is and the importance of deep sleep?
Yeah. So oversimplified, the way I pitch it to, we could not talk from a medical perspective, but oversimplified, the way I would pitch it to my grandma is, you have light sleep, you have deep sleep and REM. Deep sleep is the part of the night when your body is recovering from a physical standpoint, while in REM is when is your brain reclassifying all the information. It's also when you dream. So deep and REM is what you really need for your body to recover, both at the mental and physical level. And so increasing the percentage of these two is what will make you feel better during the night. At the end of the day, you need a 20% deep sleep as a minimum in the night to feel great, and almost the same of REM, somewhere between 18 and 25%. But between 18 and 25%, the way you feel will be huge, huge difference. So gaining a
Huge.
20, 40% improvement in any of these metrics will change your life.
Yes. And the deep sleep in terms of the recovering of the body, you would initially think, and I've seen in terms of your guys's marketing is to the athletes, but I think of it as like, man, if my normal weekend warrior, athletes are getting 20 to 40% difference, they will feel it, right?
LeBron James says he sleeps what, 12 hours, 14 hours a day?
Jeez,
12
wow.
hours, I think. Yeah.
That's
Because don't forget, there is another secondary effect we didn't discuss, which is risk of injury. So for any athlete like you, the reason why LeBron sleeps so much is he sleeps during the night and then he naps
yeah,
every day. And then they nap the day of the match, before the match.
right.
Because another thing that sleep does is, and that is why naps are so powerful, during the day, you get more adenosine in your brain, right? So when you feel tired, it's because there is adenosine pushing on your brain. And so what coffee does is not that coffee really makes you less tired, it just creates a thin film in between the brain and adenosine. And so substantially is hiding adenosine. That's why you feel more energized with coffee.
Yes, yes.
If you take a nap in the middle of the day, you bring down the level of adenosine, and that is how you stay sharper for the second part of the day. And for athletes before a match, super important.
Yeah, and that's that sleep pressure that Matthew Walker talks about.
Correct.
He gives that a great analogy of a sink filling up, right, and
Exactly.
pulling the plug,
Yes.
right, and
Yes.
those naps do it. So would people take naps on, or do you take naps on the pod?
Yeah. Yeah. When I can, I try to take a nap. If I take a nap, I do what is called a nappuccino. Have you ever heard of
I've
it?
heard about it, but I haven't done it.
So nappuccino is you drink your espresso, in my
Yeah,
case, at least, but you
yeah,
drink coffee
yeah,
before the nap.
yes,
And you take a nap that is 20 to 30 minutes. By the time you wake up, the coffee will kick in.
yeah.
And so you feel super energized.
Yes, I gotta try that out. I gotta try
Yeah.
that. Nappuccino. You heard it first from Matteo. You guys try out that
Yeah.
Nappuccino. Is there a certain coffee that you drink or cappuccino that you drink? A shout out to
I,
anybody.
I, I drink an espresso. I have an espresso machine at home. I put the capsule, my espresso, shot it,
Boom. That's it.
sleep, wake up, and then rock and roll.
Okay, so nothing crazy like a huge machine, right, with the crazy different stuff going on.
No, just the Nespresso capsule, super fast, takes you nothing, and you don't have to clean. I don't like to do all that stuff. So it's this the most convenient way for a good coffee.
I love that. I love that. The simplicity, keeping certain things as simple as possible so you can put the effort into things that truly matter.
Yeah.
Man. All right. So, Matteo, I have to share my personal experience here. I ended up getting a chili pad, and that is a competitor. I don't even know if I would even call it a competitor
Yeah.
after my experience. And the chili pad is something that you put on top of your mattress. A similar type of technology in terms of it's cooling water, right, or heating it up. The first night I slept on that, Matteo, the first night I woke up with pressure points from sleeping on like these, like, it felt like hard tubes. And I could not get comfortable, and I'm shifting around. And I mean, I emailed these guys at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm never up at 3 because I'm like, you guys, this is terrible. And the response to me was, yeah, you'll just get used to it. And so I ended up returning it because I'm like, even though I enjoyed the my underneath me not being so hot, it
Mm-hmm.
it just it wasn't a great experience. And so how does the pod differ from you have some different competitors like the bed jet or whatever that blows air and is all bulky
Yeah.
and funky, and then you
Yeah.
got the chili pad that's like, again, clunky and hard. How does that differ?
Yeah. So outside obviously the comfort, right? And you can see even there are dozens of comparison between us and ChiliPad on Twitter, public stuff, people that we don't have affiliation with.
Right.
But the bottom line is this: outside the comfort is, again, let's go back to first principle. Your body temperature changes during the night
That's
based on
right.
your sleep stages and your biometrics. These players, they don't have data, they don't have sensors. And so the way they change the temperature is just based purely on time. While instead what we are developing and releasing is temperature autopilot. The temperature will adjust automatically through our machine learning models based on yourself, based on your biometrics, based on your sleep stages.
Yeah.
That is what you need to get 20, 30, 40% more deep sleep. So it's not just temperature.
Yeah.
A dumb temperature, it's okay. What you need is a temperature that dynamically adjusts thousands of times during the night based on your biometrics.
And that's the part of, and we haven't touched into, we talked a little bit about this in terms of the different software you're wearing, I'm wearing, but the importance of tracking HRV, respiratory rate. What else does the mattress track that helps with that thermoregulation?
But a couple of different things. So first, obviously, we track HR, HRV, respiration, sleep stages, movement, presence in bed, toss and turns. This is all that we track.
Yeah.
But then we are also connected to your Apple Health. And so from Apple Health, we can pull the data of your fitness. We can pull the data from levels, right? And so we see your glucose levels. We see when you train, at what time, for how long, what type of training. And we start developing a coaching where we will tell you, look, all the times you train in the morning, you get 20% more deep sleep than when you train in the afternoon. But if you train in the afternoon, let's say you train at 7 p.m., probably now you start, your body temperature changes that night because you just train a couple of hours before going to bed. And so temperature needs to adjust. It needs to be maybe a little tiny colder because your body is warmer.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. So there's going to be a point. And my mind's just like continuing to like go into the future because I'm still thinking about the analogy of the landline, blowing my mind right now. There's going to be a point, and we're talking fitness, but we can then go into like the level, right? The patch, and throughout the day being able to match up and give direct feedback when you wake up in terms of, oh, I had that meal last night and my sleep suffered.
We were talking about that earlier, right? When we were talking about HRV with my diet. That HRV that I was showing you is my HRV when I wake up in the morning. So my sleep performance improved 40% in 4 days just by managing what I ate. And now 8 Sleep as a coach knows and can recommend you things. The other thing that happens is we know if you had a very bad night. And so as we were talking, probably you will crave 40% more sugar today.
Yeah.
Here is a recommendation how to avoid that. Try to do this, this, and that.
Yes. Because then you can be tracking glucose. You can be tracking. Oh man, you guys, this is some deep stuff when it comes to being able to optimize your health and really what you're trying to get people to. I mean, I'm going to speak for you guys a little bit, but living healthier and happier lives.
Yeah. Which is what we want to deliver, right? Use that energy for your loved ones. You use that energy for your personal, professional life. Now we are here just talking about super athletes, only running and all like you. It's your everyday. This is for moms. This is for doctors. This is for the everyday person. You deserve more from your body, and we can deliver that without asking you any effort or without changing any habit.
This is life-changing stuff because, you know, a lot of studies that I have looked at when it comes to sleeping talks about the lack of sleep that doctors get, right? The ones who are taking care of us.
Yes.
You know, how important is that if they can get better, deeper sleep in shorter amounts of time, the better health that will be able to provide, less mistakes that will be made, right?
100%.
That's huge.
But I'll give you another example. You have read the book of Matthew Walker, right? Less car accidents. Have you seen, I don't know if you remember, he talks about how many more car accidents there are when we shift the time ahead and behind.
Yeah.
And that has an impact. I don't remember the exact number. Call it 10% more car accidents. Whatever is the exact number, right?
Yeah.
So just 1 hour more of sleep per day can have a dramatically change of thousands of lives just in car accidents.
Yeah. I believe because I was looking at it earlier. If you get 4 to 5 hours of sleep, you're 5 times more likely to get into a car accident. If it's like 5 to 6, it's like 2 times more likely. I mean, 2 times more likely, guys, to end up in a car accident.
Yeah.
It, it,
You're doubling your chances to have a car
yes.
accident.
And here's a stat: 1.2 million American car crashes are caused by drowsy driving. 1.2
Yeah.
million
Million.
car crashes. So Matteo is talking about not only helping our healthcare system if doctors are sleeping on this, and of course athletes are going to benefit from this, but we look at it as the medical doctors who will provide you better medical care, being able to reduce 1.2 million car crashes down by not, again, fighting against the system. And that's one of my hardest things, Mateo, with my clients is like, you need to get to bed earlier. But if I could get them into a pod where they're still doing the 6 hours, but they start getting the feedback, they start getting the deeper sleep, it's regulating their path, they're waking up the next day clearer minded, emotions or more stable. Like, this
Yeah.
is life changing stuff.
So here is my advice for everyone, right? Because sometimes people have doubts, they're busy, whatever. So I recommend them to do one simple thing. Sleep 1 hour more every night for 1 week. So I'm asking you 1 hour more every day for 1 week. That week, you are gonna gain 7 hours, which means one more night. At the end of the week, you tell me how you feel. And if you don't feel great, if you don't feel better, you can go back to the original schedule. If you feel like a superhero, then you have your own answer.
And that just makes me think of like, hey, for 1 week, don't have a corded phone and see how much your life is going to improve.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, it's a no-brainer. There hasn't been a single client that I've worked with that when we get their sleep schedule down, everything changes. Their exercise is better. Their mood is better. Their nutrition is better. Because you guys, one of the biggest struggles that you have with your nutrition is your emotions. It's you're eating because you're tired. You're eating because you're stressed. And what Matteo was talking about is that adenosine that's in your brain, creating that brain pressure. You're foggy. You're not making clear decisions. And this all backtracks to, did you get a good night's sleep the night before? Right?
Yeah, correct. It's as simple as that.
Now, one of the things I heard on another podcast, and this is something that is, that I've studied a lot as well, is the down regulating and up regulating before bed. I've gone to clients' houses and I've seen the way that they're down regulating, which is pretty much nothing. Super bright lights up ahead, right? LED screens completely on, still music playing in the background. And that's not naturally the way we're supposed to operate, right? If the sun goes down, the birds stop chirping, so it starts getting quiet. Naturally, that's how our body's supposed to do. Is 8 sleep working towards having the ability to create a appropriate down regulating? And guys, when I say down regulating, it's you getting ready for bed, the 30 minutes to an hour before bed, and then up regulating, which is the when you start getting out of bed. Is there technology that you guys are working on to help that down regulating, up regulating?
Yeah. So joining 8 Sleep now, buying our product, it's not even, I think, just buying what we are doing today, right? Some of our customers, they call us the Tesla of sleep. So imagine
Oh, yeah.
buying the first Tesla, the Roadster, 10 years ago. It's joining a movement
Yeah.
for better sleep. And this is just the beginning. So thermoregulation in the bed is just the beginning. We will control air, light, noise, oxygen. We will control everything for you while you're asleep because we want to compress it. And while we do that, we will also scan your body. So yes, the answer is that I'm already sleeping in new devices where many other environmental factors are controlled.
And I love what you said there. It's a movement. People buy electric cars because they care about the environment, or people buy
Yeah.
electric cars, right, because financially they don't want to spend the extra money on gas. This is that same concept. You guys are creating a movement for people to ditch the dumb mattresses and to move into something greater.
Yeah. And I always say, right, when people ask me, okay, who's your audience? Are health conscious people, are people that are already
Yeah.
taking care of their fitness, are already taking care of their nutrition. So they are already there. They just need a partner for their sleep because it doesn't exist yet. And so the movement is a movement of which they're already part. We just become a piece with them of that movement and we extend it.
Yeah.
And we go beyond nutrition, beyond being on a diet, beyond just fitness, because sleep is the third pillar of health.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and can you imagine if this was in hospitals? Like the pod was
Yeah,
in hospitals, and how quickly that would help in recovery. Have you guys done any
yeah,
studies in terms of like
yeah.
people after surgery getting into the pod and any recovery stuff like that?
We are running clinical trials, yeah, as we
Wow.
speak.
Wow,
Yeah,
that is going to be huge. If we
yep,
can get people to recover quicker and get out of the hospital, the amount of medical expenses, right, that would
yeah,
decrease. Yeah.
yep.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. This is some really really cool stuff. So let me ask you this, Matteo. If we fast forward in 20 years from now, right? I know you already have the vision. What is the pod doing 20 years from now?
It compresses your sleep and it saves your life.
Boom, just like that, you guys. Straight to the point, right? Just that's why you need an espresso. Just straight to the point. Just
Yeah.
straight to the point. Okay, cool. You know, we talked a lot throughout this entire podcast, guys. You know, Matteo is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to sleep, and you can see if you're watching on YouTube page, you can see he's tracking everything. He's obsessed with being able to get data because he cares about compressing sleep and saving lives. This is an incredible mission that Matteo and 8 Sleep is on. And if you are not convinced at this point that the mattress you are on, if it's not a pod, is a dumb mattress, there's nothing else that we can say here. Like, we've given you literally the data. The data is here, unbiased data from Whoop and from other biometric tracking devices. Personally, this is the real deal, guys. And before we get off, Matteo, you gave one, right? One piece of advice in terms of getting better sleep, in terms of saying, hey, go to bed just a little bit earlier. What would be the 3 ones that, I mean, you've studied this, you've been in part of it. They have a dumb mattress, right? They're going to go get a smart mattress, AKA they're going to go get the pod. But for right now, tonight, what are 3 things that this week they could start working on to get better sleep?
Yeah, so I would say, I'll say obviously temperature, right, with the sleep, so thermoregulation. That is the big elephant in the room. That is what
1%,
it will
100%.
improve your sleep the most. Second is consistency, okay? Your body has a biological clock, okay? So you need to train your body to fall asleep at the same time and wake up at the same time every day, including the weekends. If in the weekends you sleep in for 3 hours longer, it's like the difference between the East Coast and the West Coast.
Yeah,
So you're not going to help your body. And on Monday, when you wake up earlier, then you will be groggy.
yeah,
So consistency is the big deal.
yeah.
The last one that is probably to share something a bit different is what I call the thermal shock. So try before dinner to do a shower and you switch between cold water and hot water 10 times, 30 seconds. That will take stress away, at least that works for me, and it will create a shock in your body that will help you to relax and then fall asleep.
Yeah, so 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So 30 seconds hot,
Yeah,
30 seconds cold, 10 times.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
I haven't done that. I haven't done that. I'm
yeah.
going to do it tonight.
Try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
and then after that, you try to relax for 5 minutes, and you will feel like your body vibrating, which is a simple way, is a sort of hack of the sauna and the ice bath. If you have a sauna and an ice bath, that is even better. But obviously, few of us can have that at home, and so this is the minimum valuable hack to achieve the same.
Man, learn something new every day. Nappuccinos, right? Thermoshocks. Thermoregulation. I mean, wealth of knowledge. Once again, Matteo, how do people are convinced, right? If they've listened to this podcast, they're convinced. And if you're not convinced, you guys, reach out to me, reach out to 8 Sleep, reach out to Matteo. We will convince you. They're convinced now. What do we do? How do we get them to check out 8 Sleep or to get one of these pods? What's the availability? What do you have? What are the options?
Yeah, please go on 8sleep.com, 8 like the number, so EIGHT sleep.com. You can find 2 products. One is the cover, if you want to retrofit your bed, or the whole mattress, if you just are on the market for a mattress. You have a time to use it and return it for free if you don't like it, so there is no risk, right? The mattress has, I think, 100 days. So you can use it for 100 days. If you don't like it, you ship it back. We give you 100% of your money back. So no risk connected. If you have questions, I'm very active on Twitter, so you can find me. On the homepage of 8 Sleep, you can see my Twitter account. So you can just tweet on me and I'll answer to you. Or there is a live chat on the website where you can ask anything to our customer support.
There it is, you guys. There it is. The technology that Matteo and 8 Sleep is doing is literally saving lives. Matteo, I can't thank you enough for having the opportunity to be able to speak to you, to be able to get geeky on all these different measurement devices and so on and so forth. It's been a ton of fun this last hour. Guys, again, if you have any questions, go to 8sleep.com. Reach out to me. Reach out to Matteo via Twitter. Anything else before we close out?
No, think of sleep like going to the gym. Be intentional, with or without a dumb mattress or a smart mattress. Just take care of that. Try to sleep 1 hour longer for a week and see how you feel.
There it is. And let me ask you this: did you have the 8 Sleep when you won the Grand Prix thing?
Of course, there was 8 Sleep on the car. So
Yeah.
if you find the pictures of the car, you will see our logo.
And everybody else was sleeping on an 8 Sleep mattress too. Huh?
No,
Weird,
not
guys.
everyone, but...
Yeah, maybe not. But I wonder why they podiumed. I'm just saying, you guys, if you're ready to podium in life, get an 8 Sleep mattress. We know how this goes. Matteo, thanks once again, brother. Had a ton of fun with you. Best of luck in the continuation of 8 Sleep and your mission to be able to create healthier and happier lives.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, brother. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next show. Again, if you guys want to rewatch this, you can watch it on YouTube, or you can watch it or listen to it on the podcast. Until I see you guys again, have a great day.